Hello everyone, we are here at Elephant Sanctuary, Brazil. We have done this once before, it's not perfect, but we wanted to take you on a little flight with Wally. Wally is our drone, and this is the first time we are flying Wally after the fires. Let's see, don't have anybody showing up yet. Are you still sideways? It's gonna be sideways.
No, people are there.
I know, but I think they're viewing it because the live's not here. The comments are going to come over here. Hi everyone, we're troubleshooting. I think they're going to see it sideways. They're going to have to turn their computer sideways.
Whatever.
You can do it the other way, we just have to reset.
No, it's okay.
Okay everyone, we're going to try this. So welcome. We are at Elephant Sanctuary, Brazil. As most of you know, we sustained a kind of tragic event, a very tragic event, pardon the roosters, with a massive fire that came through, and never something of this magnitude has not been seen in this region before because of the extreme conditions. So we are taking Wally, our drone, up for the first time, and we are here above the house/office, and we're going to start climbing up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit of what happened. Pardon the background noises.
And just so you guys know, we haven't actually taken the drone up yet, so this will be a first for us too.
This little area here is is a chicken chalet, and you can actually start getting an idea here of how fortunate we were and how grateful we are for the firemen for having saved our little piece of greenery here. This is a new building, a new kitchen going in, elephant food prep. I'm going to zoom down a little bit. This was the Wildlife Care Center. We're going to have to move it. And our garden was here. This area over here on the right is a spring. Normally it's very wet. But you can see around the office here, that was gratefully salvaged because everything else around it is all charred. As Kat said earlier, this might be a little sobering of what we actually dealt with. We're going to zoom up a little bit. Uh-oh.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. Bugsy, can you please? We're going to actually zoom back down a little bit, and I'm going to go forward. This is looking out towards the elephant habitat. And again, you can see how grateful we are for the protection that we had to make sure this was salvaged. Everything around it is charred. All those mountains are burnt. There's a little bit of green in here. I'm going to keep going up. I'm not going to go directly above. Sorry guys. We're trying to film this in a place where you don't have a lot of reflection, but that's causing a little bit of poor signal. All right. Aircraft disconnected. It's always encouraging. Oh, come on, Wally. Help us out here. I'm going to just start panning around a little. Sorry, guys. Come on, Wally. Where are you? 1 second. Okay. So, Wally actually already turned around a little bit. Oh, come on, aircraft. All right, guys. Hey, bear with me for a minute. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to fly out from this cover that I have right now, see if we can get a little bit of signal. All right, guys. Wally, you okay up there? Wally's all good. All right, so before I lose signal here again, we're going to try to pan around and you can see not only is it spectacular terrain, but you can see how much was actually burnt. All these areas in here, there's some greenery, but all the undergrowth has all been charred. It goes well beyond the limit over this way in the top right hand corner. This valley was saved a little bit because we did, this is actually part of the property that was not heavily damaged. When the fire arrived, it arrived over this hill, and we, over Mrs. Maria, over her property, she's over here, and we stopped it from encroaching her property. But simultaneously, the fire was across this ridge up over here, and this descended onto the property. This whole ridge was on fire. It descended on the property simultaneously. Last time we had fires, it came down this hill very slowly, and it took about 3 days to go from here to here. During this fire, it took about 2 hours to go from here to here. So it was incredibly fast. We do know that it will recover very quickly. It's a spectacular region. It's a very resilient region. There are some greenery, spots of greenery amongst where we are. It's nice for wildlife. It's not perfect. We did have a loss of life of some wildlife, native wildlife. Nobody that we care for directly, just the wild animals that live here. But we have also seen a lot of indications of activity. We have a lot of macaws. We saw a coachia, quadamundi, some deer, several other little critters out there. But the fire was well beyond this ridge. This valley was relatively salvaged, where it's nice and damp from the river. But you can see the vast majority of everything around us here was unfortunately ravaged by the fire. Looking up at this is actually not as bad as I expected. You can see there's a lot of burn areas, but there's still a lot of green indications of green in those areas, so it'll bounce back. It'll bounce back. This is back over the elephant habitat. What we did during the fire is we have 3 smaller areas here, yard 1, 2, and 3, and the elephants were all in those 3 areas. And then it gave access to yards 4 and 5, and we had a little road through here. So the firemen put a backburn on to the north to prevent the fire encroaching, and then we did a backburn to the east, and then to the south. And so a lot of this area immediately around the sanctuary was part of the backburn, which we're really grateful they did, not only because the fire was moving at an incredible rate, but the next day on Saturday, there was fire back over this ridge, and the wind was blowing in this direction. So was over this ridge, and the wind was blowing from the south, so it would have pushed the fire right back on us if we had not. This is going to be the area for male Asians, and once we do have elephants in those areas, additional fire lines will be created. We're actually working on identifying additional equipment that we can use to prepare for these catastrophic events. We had a good plan in place, but to save the most critical areas, but the safety measures we had in place and to stop the fire from entering the property were just not enough in this particular occasion. Again, it was just a worst case scenario. And I said even the firemen had said they had seen nothing like this before. A lot of these areas, when we had, it's actually really encouraging to see all that green. Again, this is the first time we're taking Wally up here. We had some of these roads had previously served as fire breaks, but this fire was it's too much. It was kind of a little frightening. but it's actually exciting to see. It's really exciting to see this greenery here, in great part because it's a very dense vegetation. It's a prime wildlife area, so we're hopeful that a lot of animals were able to seek shelter there. All right, guys, I know you've all been wondering how things are going here, and before I go any further, and I just want to make sure we express our gratitude. Many of you have come through to help us, to raise money to help us start the repairs. We are very, very, very fortunate that the majority of the damage is really superficial. Some water tanks, water line, electrical lines, an electric meter in one case, but really superficial, incredibly superficial damage. And we're grateful. We are grateful for you guys to come through and help us rebuild as expeditiously as possible. We are going to need to rebuild our wildlife care center. We had planned to do it, but had been put off for a while because of other priorities. We need to get the African area ready. We have Poche and Guillermina who need to come from Mendoza, hopefully in the not too distant future, in the next few months. Lots of elephants waiting. So the wildlife care center had been on hold a little bit, but because of the fire, it's kind of pushed it back to the front of the list. Wally wants to come home. Hold on, Wally. Cancel. Sorry, I keep doing the wrong thing. But several of you have already come, many of you have already come forward to help us pay for the damages and start rebuilding. That's going to be already started. We already have water systems back in place. We have a lot more to go, a lot more to do. But we really appreciate all you guys for stepping up and coming through for us. So this is Africa. For those that have been wondering why I'm staring at this, this is the next African area. This is the first yard that is essentially complete. We're working on the next two areas. We had a load of steel arrive today. We had actually been waiting for the end of the dry season so we can start welding without risk of starting a fire. Ironically, that wait was for naught because it burnt itself down. But it'll recover quickly. We know it will. But we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate all the kind notes. Lots of support has come in, lots of notes of concern. But everything is good. We're all good. Our staff are good. Our teams are amazing. Our animals are all good. And I can't express enough gratitude once again for you guys being here, for being part of this amazing venture. Sorry, Wally's getting a bit of turbulence up high. Wally needs a new gimbal. Wally's gimbal is not working so well. You need to... Well, add a Wally gimbal to the wish list soon because, as you can see, he's not so stable anymore. All right, guys, I got to bring Wally home. We're going to hang up. You guys take care. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks for scouting the property with us as we saw the damage that has been done from the fire that came through a few days ago. We're well on the road to putting things back in order, and we will keep up to date as things progress. You guys take care. Ciao for now.